And hello travelers. Well. Another year wrapped up in the books. 2022 has come, it's gone. It's probably been the first full-fledged year of films since the old virus that shall not be named has made its way through. And here we are. I surprised myself. I beat my record for last year, and this is gonna sound hard to believe, but I shit you not, between all the films that I saw in theaters, which include, I'm also counting this, repeat viewings, any art house showings, any theater, anytime that I went to go to a theater to see a film, I shit you not, I counted it up today from the January 1st to December 31st. I literally hit, unbelievably, exactly 100. I think I have a bit of a problem. Some of my friends think I have a bit of a problem. So I just want to preface that. Beat my record. I forgot what my record was last year, but we done did diggity beat it. Of course we have, after all my reviews have been done, my top 10 favorites for 2022. And I always preface this by saying, this list is based, like my other reviews, half on the quality of a film and half on my enjoyment. This is my list. It's going to be biased. There's going to be some stuff where if you've seen my reviews or if you know me even a little bit, you can probably already guess what's going to be in the list, but some might surprise you. This list includes films that I either have reviewed or are going to review. I try to keep it to reviews for films I've done on this channel. We got a lot to get through, so without further ado, here is MovieMan's top 10 films of 2022.
It's the most magical place in the world.
Coming in at number 10, not gonna lie, I had an option, then I saw this movie just the other day, and I couldn't help it, so Top Gun got booted. Number 10 was Babylon. I have not yet published my review for this. The review is coming very soon, but the more I stew and think about Babylon, the more and more I like it and borderline love it. I love any film that has to do with cinema, the art and the energy and the time and the passion that goes into cinema, and the fact that this seems on the surface to be a gallivanting romp of depravity and dangerous filmmaking and people just doing drugs and whatnot. You dig past that shallow layer and it's a deeper bit of a character study, a flawed one, but one that actually showcases a few different characters that are having to basically go through that several year change from the 20s to 30s when Hollywood changed in a major way itself. So we get to follow these characters. It's super fun, it's energetic. I'm still bopping out to the soundtrack whenever I get a chance. I had so much fun with the movie. It was hilarious throughout, and yet still had these heartfelt moments, and by the end, had me feeling the same way about film that I have for years. I love it.
We harvest, we ferment, we gel.
For number 9, I actually had to re-record this because I had an answer, and then I thought more on it, and I decided that one of my honorable mentions actually deserved this spot more than my initial pick, which I'm already indecisive as it is, but had some conversations with some amigos after I recorded, thought more on it, and I gotta say, it'd only be fair to say this. My original pick was Bodies, but I gotta say, number 9 for me might actually have to be The Menu. The Menu was really good with some fantastic moments. I really enjoyed it from start to finish. Commentaries on not only the current state of the food industry, very similar to what Pig did when that came out, but also, commentary on the rich and the wealthy and the bourgeoisie and whatnot, those kind of classes of people. Us kids love to eat the rich mentality. But no, it tackles it in a darkly comedic and also on point kind of way. Any film like this that can evoke like Ratatouille vibes by the end of it as well, like admiration there, just the joy of cooking and how so much of it has been stripped away from these hoity-toity places nowadays. You know me and my crush on Anya Taylor-Joy. I think she's great in it. Ralph Fiennes, however you want to say it. Ralph is great in it. The whole cast is killer. I have no complaints about any of that. I think I had some minor gripes when I reviewed it, but it was probably close to a perfect score for this year, in my opinion. It was really good. I liked it a lot. I laughed a lot. A good thriller overall. Plus, if you've worked in food service or retail and all that, then you're gonna love this film. It's, as I called it in my review, it is a service worker revenge porn kind of movie. It's not, balls to the wall, gore and grotesqueness by any means, but there definitely is comeuppance. And if you have worked in food service, you will feel much serotonin from this film and the commentary it brings forward. So for that reason, it was almost Bodies, but it is instead The Menu.
People are amazing.
Number 8 is a film that I thought thought before going to go see it that it might be higher on the list. And while it's not higher on the list, it is, I gotta give it the respect that it deserves because I thought it was already gonna be good. Tug at the old heartstrings, be a really compelling, character-driven, heartbreaking drama, and it pretty much was all those things. Number 8 is The Whale. Following this film since it was announced in the pre-production, production, post-production, was excited to go see it. It's not perfect, but for what it is, I mean, like I said in my review for it, I wouldn't be surprised if Brendan is at the very least nominated for an Oscar for his performance in this, or other awards. I know he's already being showered with praise, support, and accolades. Not for the faint of heart. Dark, it's sad, it's brutally human, and Brendan just knocks out of the park. Would the film work if he wasn't in it? Conversation for another day, but overall, I really enjoyed this, and I can't wait till it comes out on Blu-ray so I can drink a bottle of wine and sob my eyes out while watching this brilliant drama unfold on the screen again.
Sometimes I find my mind wandering.
Number 7 is one that, again, a little bit earlier this year, I didn't realize how much I would like it. I really enjoyed this. Another drama comedy with a bunch of heart in it, just so wholesome and pure in moments, and yet somehow is able to dig below the surface and explore deeper themes. Number 7, Marcel the Shell, or if you want to be particular about it, Marcel the Shell with Shoes On. A lot of A24 movies in this list. What can I say? They back the right horses. You can check out my review for all these films, but I really enjoyed Marcel the Shell. I connected with it on an empathetic level due to my own family losses I've had in the past, but it's really good, it's heartwarming, and in these dark times it can give you hope, just by reminding you to enjoy the smaller and finer things in life. The little things, you know?
No! It's just dumb!
Luckily, I got to see this one in theaters, and I was pleasantly surprised by how much I really enjoyed this one as well. My initial opinion was that it was even better as a sequel, but we have Glass Onion. I just really enjoyed the mystery in this. I love Daniel Craig giving his old southern drawl back in there. Upon multiple viewings, there's even deeper amounts of just clever writing, a little asides and hidden stuff, both in characters, mannerisms, but the writing especially in this film was what impressed me the most. I think Rian Johnson is a great director and brilliant writer, and this film showcases that as well. I think it's a great whodunit. It's announced he's already writing a 3rd movie. I can't wait to see more Knives Out mysteries. I was very pleasantly surprised by how great Glass Onion was and how I think it might have even been better than the first one.
Finally, you need therapy.
I couldn't, rightly so, take any of the movies I've already put on this list off the list, but there's a movie I just saw, of course, tail end of the year, that I thought I was gonna like it, but I ended up actually absolutely loving it, and I'm shocked this is on the list as well, but I gotta be fair, so for the first time ever, I'm gonna say number 6 is being shared. Number 6 for me, while being Glass Onion, also I have to put on here my secondary number 6 pick, Puss in Boots: The Last Wish. Hear me out. I saw the trailers for this and I thought it looked cool. The animation style looked good. I haven't even reviewed it yet. I just saw it, but my god, I'm blown away by how that was a fantastic film. Visually, it was great. It gave me Spider-Verse vibes as well as Bad Guys vibes. I just love seeing animated films that experiment more with different variations and styles of animation. But the story was solid. It made sense. I love the themes that were in this film. It explored surprisingly thematic material, anything from confronting your mortality to panic attacks. And it was just fun. It was hilarious, by the way. It was very funny. And the action was just solid, well-directed, well-choreographed, well-animated. I honestly don't have a sore word to say about the film. In addition to Glass Onion being number 6, I would be remiss if I did not include Puss in Boots: The Last Wish in my top 10 films of 2022. I don't know if it's just because it's most recent. I don't know if I'm riding a wave or a high, but I'd be doing it a disservice if I didn't say something. So I unironically loved Puss in Boots: The Last Wish. It was great. Check it out. We are now down to the nitty-gritty. I realized I'm going a bit faster than I was last year, which is good, but now that we're in the top 5, we might be slowing it down just a tiny bit.
What was your favorite part?
Number 5 is a film that does what Babylon does, but in a bit more subdued, more intimate way. I love any film that can bring forth the art and the passion and the power of cinema and film. Anybody that knows me knows this. If you watch even one or two of my videos, you can tell, hopefully, that this is This is what I live for a lot of the time, is just cinema and all that. Which is why number 5 is The Fablemans. Shocker, I know, Steven Spielberg and his blockbuster legacy, but I really not only connected with this and resonated with a lot of the themes, but as I said in my review for it, the first act is pure magic when the kid is discovering cinema for the first time and becomes enamored and falls in love with it. And I love the journey that we go with him as he tries to make cinema his life. It's a surprisingly intense and compelling family drama, but also coming of age, but also a love letter to cinema and the power that lies within the silver screen, all that jazz. And for all those reasons, I also fell in love with The Fablemans. It's a film that reminded me of my own journey, falling in love with cinema and wanting to be a part of that world somehow, some way. Like I said, Babylon also did it, but I think this one resonated more because they made it more personal. They gave it more focus on one character. It's still fun and has funny moments, but it's taken more seriously. It's given more time in the slow cooker, you know what I mean? And for that reason, it works even better. But yeah, I really, I love The Fablemans.
Tried my best, and that's the best anyone can do.
4 is a film that I knew I was going to like, but I didn't realize how much I was going to love it. It's currently my favorite adaptation of the story. That's going to give it away, but its use of stop motion is just pure artistry. I gotta say, number 4 would be Pinocchio. I loved Pinocchio. And I love Guillermo del Toro and everything that he does. I know I didn't say it right, but everything in this film, from performances to the artistry involved in the stop motion, like I said, visually it's one of the more unique films of the year. It's just so creative and so much time and effort and love that has to go into a film like this, and then adapt a story that I never really was too excited or crazy about to begin with, and then adapt it in a way where I actually really like the story. They use the lore, the characters really well. It's a different interpretation, but it's still one that's true to its source material and makes for a really good, oftentimes heartfelt, oftentimes funny, and overall just a fantastic film. Here we are, top 3 of 2022. But before we get into top 3, here are a few honorable mentions. These are films that I really would like to have added to the list. And don't get me wrong, they probably deserve a spot on a top 10 list, but for my top 10, they just barely didn't make the cut. But boom, honorable mentions. Again, these might not be surprises, but I think number 3 is going to be a pretty big surprise.
Answer me, Keith!
Number 3, I was even surprised I ranked this as number 3. Again, this is going to be a hot take, but I ranked these based on not only on quality of a film, but personal enjoyment. I gotta say number 3 was Barbarian. I really liked Barbarian. I already like thrillers. I love horror. I love survival horror. I love all those things. Dark comedy, all mixed into one. As I said in my review for Barbarian, this film is a fantastic horror thriller. It's a wild ride. You think you know where it's going, and then definitely doesn't. Just off the highway, not even taking the off-ramp, just bang off the highway. This film gets crazy, I'm not gonna lie, but I loved it. It's so creative with its use of direction, its use of camera work. Tension is always kept up. It's scary in some moments, it's horrific in others. It's funny, if not hilarious, and surprising amount of moments too, but it all works. It's all brought together by great performances. It's a film that not everybody's gonna like. It's a film that not a lot of people saw, but I loved Barbarian. So yeah, number 3 is what I would go for Barbarian.
Holy God, what are you showing me? His head. Come on! Open your eyes!
There were a surprising amount of 3-hour films this year, and 2 of them made it to my list, and one of them just is one of the best adaptations of source material that I've seen to this date. I love the cast, the performances, dripping in aesthetic, pays tribute to the characters so well. Just a solid action, seedy, drama, murder mystery. The Batman. The Batman was, in my opinion, just about perfect cinema. From start to finish, what a fucking ride. Seeing it in IMAX on opening night with the crowd's reactions, all the moments just hit. I saw that a total of 5 times this year, 4 of which were in theaters in different formats because I wanted to play around with the different formats. Say what you will, Robert Pattinson, I don't know if he's my favorite Batman, but he's my top 3 for sure. I'm biased because I love him, but I loved this Batman. I still stand by my statement, this has the best chase like Batmobile chase in a Batman anything that I've ever seen, just due to the sheer talent behind the camera and all the work that went into making it. The whole film is just intense. Aesthetically, I think it's probably the best representation we've had of Gotham in like any Batman flick to date. Compelling villain, compelling characters. I gave a shit about everybody. I don't think a single frame was wasted, and it lays a solid foundation to what is going to be a fantastic new franchise for Batman, headed by Matt Reeves, and I can't wait for it. But Batman was my second favorite film this entire year.
Every rejection, every disappointment has led you here to this moment.
And number one will come as no surprise to anybody. Although I only got to see it twice in theaters, I've seen it many times since then. It's the one film, if I have to recommend you watch one film this year, just one, hands down it is Everything, Everywhere, All at Once. While Batman is a masterpiece, this is even double that. This is one of those films that we get maybe once in a generation, like once every 5 or 10 years. Honestly, hands down, the most creative film that I saw all year. To be able to give you a multiverse-based film, but at the same time one that your average audience member can like pick up just through good direction, through a good amount of characterization, exposition, just the creativity involved in truly embodying what the multiverse theory is, showing you the different universes, the different things, people, the powers, abilities. The fact that this film is able to keep that balance between the insanity and the creativeness of the universes that it explores, while also still being remarkably grounded in a very compelling family drama at the core of all of this. It's remarkable is what it is. The cast are all fantastic in their own right. The story, fantastic. The visuals, fantastic. The effects, both practical and digital, everything is just, I can't say a sore word about this film. The worst criticism I've heard about this film all year was some people being like, well, it's kind of weird for me. And I get that, but also, that's kind of the fucking point. It's so weird, but so great. I remember watching this film and almost from start to finish, big shit-eating grin on my face because I was just loving it and enjoying it. Just constant serotonin so much. It's so good. In a film where you have a raccoon controlling someone with his hair to be a pro chef, where a bagel is a metaphor for suicide, where the multiverse theory is a metaphor for overthinking and for being overwhelmed by life and all the decisions and your regrets and choices. A film where I had tears in my eyes while at the same time people with hot dogs for fingers were making love on screen. What a unique fucking film this is. Just masterpiece. That's all that there is to it. I can never recommend this film enough. Is it for everybody? Maybe not. Because admittedly some people can't handle the weird, and you know what? I do get that, but out of all the films this year, hands down, my favorite one of all was Everything, Everywhere, All at Once. That's it. Another year has come and gone, and I broke my record for my entire life. Most films I've seen in 1 year, let alone most films I've seen in theaters in a year. Next year, I'm going to be doing some restructuring. I'm going to try not to cut back too much. I still love the frequency I'm seeing films, but you know, Daddy's got to make time for himself sometimes, so I'm still going to keep making movie reviews. I'm still going to keep on trying to go to theaters, maybe match, if not break my record again next year. But to all you guys and gals that have been along for this ride, thank you. These are really fun and fulfilling to do. Sometimes I'm tired as shit, and sometimes I can barely muster up the energy to do it. And then other times, one of you guys comments or brings it up in real life, and I can tell there's appreciation there, and there's some people that really enjoy watching this content, and I enjoy watching films and making content like this. So to all you that have been supporting me for years before and even now and years to come, without getting too much into it, I do want to say thank you. Like, deeply, deeply thank you. A lot of the time, you brave, proud, and few of you, whoever you are, you often are what keep me going, because sometimes I can barely keep myself going. So it's appreciated. Love you all for it. I love talking about films, watching them, recommending, not recommending, reviewing. I watch all the films so you don't have to, but it's a movie man. It's what I do. I love cinema. It's a passion of mine. I love any way that I can continue to be involved in this world of cinema in any capacity. I'm going to try my damnedest to do so. Overstayed my welcome for today. Thank you guys and gals so much for watching, and stay tuned for the next episode of whatever movie I review. Happy New Year, 2023. Let's see what craziness the film industry can bring. Love you all. Goodbye, travelers.